Hi guys, welcome to my round 3 British Championships game of the day. And in this one we have Yangfang Zhou against Simon Knott. And obviously, both these players are IMs, and Yangfang, who's playing white, is only just 18 now, and he's hoping to become a GM very soon. He's a very talented player for his age. Okay, so Yangfang starts off with e4, e6, d4, d5. So Simon's playing my favourite opening as black, the French defence. Knight d2, so we have the Tarrasch variation, and c5. Okay, so normally as black I tend to play knight f6 against the Tarrasch, or I sometimes try knight c6. Other moves you can play is d takes e4. This is a very solid option for black, and a good one if you're trying to go for a draw. Bishop e7 is also another good alternative, and then obviously c5 is quite an aggressive response also. So c5 was played, takes, queen takes, knight g f3. So this is all theory, and after black wins the pawn on d4, white goes bishop c4, queen d6, and castles. The reason you don't want to play knight b3 immediately here to try win back your pawn is because now queen b4 check is very annoying for white, since now the knight's going to have to go back again to defend the bishop and block the check, and you're just wasting time here. So you got to make sure you go castles first. Knight f6, knight b3, knight c6. Now white can win back its pawn. Okay, so knight takes d4 is the main move here. Queen takes d4 is also a possibility, and I've played this variation as black, and I've had queen takes d4 played against me. But normally if white wants to get an advantage, he goes for knight takes d4, because now obviously knight b5 is a threat. So black has to play a6, and now Yangfang plays rook e1. There's a couple of good moves here. You can play bishop just back to b3, which is sort of a quiet move. Bishop g5 is also a possibility, and rook e1 is also a decent move. Also, it's trying to take advantage of the pin on e file, and maybe even play knight f5 at some point. So queen c7, bishop back to f1. Note the queen was attacking the bishop on c4, so bishop back to f1, bishop c5, bishop g5. This is very sharp play now, since white wants to double black's pawns on the f-file, and black doesn't mind doing this in these sort of lines. He castles, g takes f6, and the reason he doesn't mind doing this is because after queen g4 check he can hide his king in the corner, and now he wants to play moves like rook g8, b5, bishop b7, and really try attack the g2 pawn. But Yangfang's not going to let his opponent get set up like this, so black can get that sort of position and he's going to be doing very well. And if black wants to try get his rook to g6, so he can easily protect this pawn, and then this rook can also fly over to the g file. So Yangfang goes bishop queen h4. So he wants to immediately put pressure on the f6 pawn, so bishop e7 is played, and now rook e3. So really starting the attack against h7. So f5 is played, queen h5, bishop c5. So Simon's just trying to delay white as much as possible here with his attack. If rook h3 now, then obviously bishop takes d4 cannot be played because it's queen h7 checkmate. So f6 would be played here, and black seems to be holding on. So Yangfang finds a better move in this position. He goes queen to h6, and you see now that the bishop is a little overloaded. If he takes the knight, then queen takes f8 will be checkmate, so the bishop has to stay under defense of the rook. So f6 was played. Note that also here queen f6 check is a winning threat, because after king g8 then the rook swings over to the g file, and then black would have to sacrifice his queen. So f6, and now knight takes e6, and this is where it starts to getting very sharp indeed in this position. Okay, so after knight takes e6 there's all sorts of possibilities here. Bishop takes e6 is one of them, and bishop takes e3 is another choice you've got to look at, because then there's also, you take the rook, you take the queen, but then your queen and your rook are on pre as well, and after knight takes rook there might even be checkmate threats on h7, so it's getting pretty sharp. Simon decides to go bishop takes e6, and there's only really one move here for Yang Fang. He just took on e6, bishop d4, rook a1 to bring his other rook into the game, bishop b5, bishop d3, f4, and okay, so here Yang Fang comes up with quite a nice move. It's not really a winning move, but it is a nice move. Just to, he wants to try and remove this bishop off the e file, so you can go rook e7 with his rook on the back rank protecting it, and then he'll be able to force through queen takes h7 with a checkmate. So here he goes g3, and now the idea is he wants to force black to either take this pawn, where he's going to be able to play f4 at some point, or he's going to take it himself and then be able to force through rook e7. So Simon goes rook a d8, and now Yang Fang spots another clever way to try to get his rook to e7 with queen h4, and now you'll see the point of queen h4 after rook d4. There's a winning move here for white. So you want to try pause the video, and I'll give you a hint. It's something to do with getting this rook to e7. And why did Yang Fang play his queen to h4? Okay, so pause the video if you want to try find the move, and I'll continue shortly. Okay, so now you'll see the whole idea of queen h4. The queen's looking to protect the rook when the rook goes to e7, and if you can get his rook to e7, then of course white's going to be mating on h7. So here Yang Fang played rook 1 takes e5, and obviously pawn can't take the rook because of rook to e7, and here Simon would have to sacrifice his queen in order to stop mate, and then he's just going to be losing materially. So this is no good. So after rook takes e5, Simon tries rook takes d3, trying to counter-attack. Rook just goes simply back to e1, then the rook goes back to d8, rook e7 is played, queen takes c2, so the queen now is able to protect the h7 pawn, and after queen takes f4, b5, rook a7, rook d1, and rook takes h7 check. White is just winning here, and black resigned, since obviously if queen takes h7, then white just recaptures his rook, and he's just 2 pawns up. So you got the 2 pawns on this side, which is just winning. And if he tries king takes h7, Yang Fang obviously saw this. He goes queen h4 check. King is forced somewhere on the g file. So say if he goes king g7, it's queen g4 check, and then we win the rook again on d1, recapture the rook, and white will be left just 2 pawns up here, and a very easy win for white. And if say king f7, then yeah, you may think that, okay, well, can't black get some of these pawns over here? But problem is now this rook's gonna come into the 7th rank, and this is just hopeless for black. So black doesn't have time to try to take on b2. He has to do something about this 7th rank threat, and then these 2 extra pawns will also just make the position 1 for white. So it was a really nice game by Yang Fang. I remember watching the game live, and I think it finished relatively quickly, especially for one of the top board games. So that was my game of the day for today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.